Good evening, hello and welcome to this special broadcast. I'm Anusha Soni. A full-blown political war has once again broken out between the BJP and TMC on the streets of West Bengal. The protests earlier on Tuesday had turned violent. Now BJP has accused the West Bengal government of using excessive force to stifle democratic protests. The heat on TMC government is not off. Today there was another round of demonstration and protest by the BJP demanding accountability from the government. It seems that the BJP has got its mojo back, as allegations of numerous scams have sent tremors for the West Bengal governments. Now, there's a political space, you can't deny that, which the BJP would want to capture. Can the TMC effectively manage this image issue? And will the BJP be able to mobilize its cadres and voters once again for the big 2024 battle? We'll talk about all these points, but first, the story so far.
3 days after the unprecedented face-off between Bengal police and BJP workers over their Nobonno Cholo march, there was yet another showdown today. BJP workers hit the streets for their Thana Ghirao agitation. They were protesting against alleged atrocities by the police and the TMC government.
You can see these workers currently have taken siege of College Street, a major arterial thoroughfare in North Kolkata, and has blocked the entire road, and you can see them protesting against that police action.
It was almost a rerun of the violence that was witnessed on Tuesday. Fierce clashes broke out and police fired water cannons to disperse the protesters.
Firing us because you all are the worker of BJP. There is no democracy in West Bengal. Right now, the entire Bengal is suffering from this kind of autocracy.
Another flashpoint was TMC MP Abhishek Banerjee's open threat to the protesters.
আপনার জায়গায় যদি আমি থাকতাম আর আমার সামনে যদি পুলিশের গাড়িতে আগুন জ্বলতো বা এইভাবে পুলিশের উপর আক্রমণ হতো আমি এখানে শুট করতাম মাথার উপরে।
While the BJP condemned the remark, the TMC government accused their rivals of indulging in hooliganism in the name of protest. As the blame game intensifies and Bengal continues to simmer, who is stoking the fire?
Well, that's the question we are asking, that who's stoking this fire, and politically, who is it going to benefit? Perhaps only time is going to tell, but we're going to take these questions to our full panel of guests who are joining us tonight. We have Mr. Riju Datta, the spokesperson of the TMC, Aruna Anand, who's the consulting editor of First Post, and other guests will also join us on the broadcast in just a few minutes from now. Riju, first taking that question to you. The BJP, the principal opposition party in the state of West Bengal, has hit the streets. Their charge is that not only the West Bengal government right now is ridden with allegations of multiple scams and there's a need for accountability, but you're also working against democratic protests on the ground. You're arresting people using excessive force.
Let me be very frank with you. Before the Namani Abhiyan took place, 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, and the entire BJP top command in Bengal, they rallied all over Bengal for this particular event, this Namani Abhiyan event. And it was scheduled on 7th of September. They didn't get people. They transferred it to 13th of September. And then there was no lathi charge, no commotion, nothing happened. But on the day, today also they are protesting. Other political parties are protesting. Nobody is getting lathi charge. But on the day of the rally, if you import hoodlums via trains who are carrying bombs and pistols, you beat up assistant police commissioners, break their arms, you put fire, set ablaze a police car, then the Bengal police and the Calcutta police is supposed to do their job, which is to maintain the law and order, and they will lathi charge, they will use water cannon. It is as simple as that. If you do your rallies peacefully, nothing will happen. And I will draw a correlation here, and 2 correlations here. Please allow me 20 more seconds. Number 1, the Martyrs' Day rally, 21st July 1993, Mamata Banerjee's rally. 13 of our people, cadres, were shot dead. There was no bombs. There was no guns that were involved. The police shot us dead.
It's interesting, Riju. It's interesting, Riju, that you're talking about this.
Please, I request you 10 more seconds.
Yes, please.
And the second correlation is much more recent. 19th December 2019, 19th December 2019, there was a peaceful protest rally of CA NRC in Uttar Pradesh. How many people got shot down? 23 people.
I think I've given
shot.
you your fair share of time. I've given you your fair share of time. But Riju, it's interesting that you're talking about street protests. It's interesting that you're reminding how Mamata Banerjee, the tall leader of West Bengal, the present chief minister, built her credibility as a street fighter. That is what Didi is really known for. And perhaps from a party like that, the expectation would be that you would understand these protests and violent or oppressive means to stop these protests won't be used. That's what BJP is saying. And I want to bring in my other panelists also into the discussion. Shatarupa, who's the spokesperson of West Bengal BJP, is with us on the broadcast. Anirban Banerjee, a political analyst, and Arun Anand, who's a consulting editor of the First Post. Shatarupa, coming to you. The government's argument is that in that so-called peaceful demonstration, there were bombs that were being hurled, there were bricks that the protesters were throwing, you were not able to gather the number of your party workers on repeated occasions, and only on Tuesday you decided to come close to the secretariat. That was the plan, and the police merely did its job.
Anusha, I was there. I heard what Riju said. You see, Riju and Trinamool has been shouting lies and shouting foul for no rhyme or reason. What you said very correctly was, from a party which is based its power on street agitation, and Mamata Banerjee, who is shot to fame after holding 5 months in a particular month, in the month of December, if I'm not mistaken, month of December 2006 or 7. 5 months she had held in one month. Anyway, that apart, as far as our agitation is concerned, it's all very well for Riju and all to say that we couldn't have people on the 7th, so therefore we held it on the 13th. This is entirely our internal matter. People were there, and so many people were there that the Trinamool got scared, I would say, that we had filled the streets, we had filled the entire state of West Bengal. Yeah. You are probably aware that from about 24 hours to 48 hours before our agitation was to take place, the West Bengal police resorted to violence, stopping people from entering stations, which is far away from Nabanno, far away.
Riju, I'll come to you. I'll let you make your point. Let Shatarupa finish her argument. Yes.
In North Bengal, in Purulia, in Bardhaman,
no, Shatarupa. The question that I want to ask you, I asked some accountability from the present government, and I'm going to ask some accountability from the principal opposition party as well. When you organize protests and dharnas and demonstrations in the VVIP areas, you are expected to control your cadres and you're expected to control the crowd. You cannot say once the violence breaks out, that look, it's not our responsibility. It's your party that held the demonstration.
Responsibility at all.
Yeah.
Anusha, I'm not denying responsibility at all. Yeah. That is what I was trying to tell you. We, as the principal opposition party, we are fully aware, we're extremely responsible about the fact that Nabanno is a 144 area, and around that 144 area, there is a circumference that the police draw. Yeah. We are not allowed to go anywhere near that. So that is my point. Had police been attacking us beyond that area, completely acceptable. We were nowhere near Nabanno. The 3 rallies that were coming down to Nabanno were nowhere near Nabanno.
Oh, point taken. Point taken that you were not even close to Nabanno. You were much far away. But what about the bricks? What about the bombs that were seen?
Let me just finish.
Yeah.
Please let me finish.
Yeah.
Please give me a fair hearing.
Sure.
See, our point is 24 hours to 48 hours, people were stopped from even coming to Calcutta. And as far as the violence in Kolkata was concerned, we had our 3 leaders constantly telling our people not to resort to violence. If despite that there are people who got carried away, we take full responsibility, provided that these people are identified as BJP personnel, as BJP karyakartas. If they are identified, then we will allow the law to take its own course, and more than the law, BJP will take action against such karyakartas. But we firmly believe that these karyakartas are not our karyakartas. They were probably Trinamool who had, infiltrated in through
Riju, this is a charge. This is a charge that Mr. Amit Malviya. This is a charge. Let me finish. This is a charge that Mr. Amit Malviya had also made the other day, and there were certain visuals also that the BJP earlier had put out in their press conference. They are saying you planted people to make sure that the demonstration turns violent. That's the allegation. Respond to that, Riju.
Yes, people who make such kind of wild allegations should stay away from consuming too much gomutra. That's all I can say. And
I think that is highly derogatory. No, I think that's highly derogatory. That's highly derogatory and personal. I will not allow that comment on my show. I would request you to stick to the topic. Please go ahead.
I will say this. There is a clear difference between political activism and political vandalism. You bring in people when your rally was to go to Nabanna and they have come 50 odd kilometers into the middle of Calcutta in front of police headquarters and you're burning police vehicles. She said identify them as Karyakartas. This is the main accused who burned the police car is seen here taking a picture with the Deputy Home Minister who is also a BJP MP from Kuch Bihar. What is their answer for this? Now secondly, I will tell you this. The problem here is in the BJP High Command of Bengal.
Let him finish his point.
In the BJP High Command of Bengal, they have no control over their cadres. Shubhendu Adhikari left from his house 3 hours after the rally started. Then he said, "Don't touch my body," and ran away like a coward from the scene. Dilip Ghosh said in the afternoon, "The rally is over." And after he said this, Sukanta Majumdar, the president, with Agnimitra Paul, is sitting on the road in the BJP. They have no coordination. They don't know who these people are. But I'm saying this on record. And I'm showing this. There has been 26 arrests so far. Okay. I can name them also on your channel who are identified as BJP Karyakartas.
Okay. Let me take a reaction from Shatarupa and then I will bring in our other panelists into the discussion. Shatarupa, 26 arrests so far, some of them even identified as BJP Karyakartas. Will you take responsibility?
If they are finally identified as BJP Karyakartas, like I said, we will take action against them, and we have no problem if the law takes its own course. One last sentence I want to say before you go on to somebody else. The party which is accusing us of vandalism right now, we're talking tall stories about our vandalism. This is the party which vandalized the Vidhan Sabha. The historic Vidhan Sabha has been vandalized by these Karyakartas. Historic Presidency College University has been vandalized by Trinamool Karyakartas. So they have no right, no moral right to talk about
your party vandalized the Babri Masjid.
I don't want to justify
It's amazing. It's amazing how both of you are pointing out to the history of each other. And perhaps that's a message to all our citizens as to how the West Bengal politics has been marred by violence. I want to bring in Mr. Anirban Banerjee and also Mr. Arun Anand into the discussion. Mr. Anand, first to you. Is this a re-energized BJP? The lull perhaps has been broken, and they are aware of a political space once again opening up, a discourse around the alleged corruption scandals that has given the space for BJP to once again claim the space in the political narrative and also on the streets.
I don't think it's a re-energized BJP. I think, there is a larger problem with BJP also. But first, let me bring in a point that West Bengal has, witnessed a culture of political violence for a very, very long time. The left first mastered it, and then Trinamool, when Trinamool took over, it had suffered during the left regime, and now Trinamool has mastered it. And now somehow the political idiom of West Bengal, it starts from political violence and it ends at political violence. That is one point. Second is that, see, the BJP also needs to do some introspection. That I suspect that, the way a large number of leaders were taken from TMC and left, and a large number of cadres moved from those parties. So it might be happening that, these cadres are not as disciplined as the normal BJP cadres are. So I think BJP needs to be very, very careful about whom they are taking in the party. In a hurry to expand their footprint, they might have hurt themselves a little bit. But I think what Shatrupa was saying, I think there is a valid point in that, and the allegations which BJP are making, it's quite possible that a number of TMC cadres had infiltrated and the violence was perpetrated, because I don't think right now that BJP has got that kind of muscle there that it can really go all out on the streets to target the police.
Mr. Anand, with due respect to your point, I mean, if BJP, talking about the TMC and the left politics which traditionally has existed in the state of West Bengal, and the manner in which the BJP is expanding itself, it's but natural that they will get their supporters or their cadres from a TMC, from the left, or from other political parties. These will be shifting political loyalties towards the BJP. They can't really get an authentic BJP cadre on the ground.
No, there has been, you're right. If you are in a hurry to expand yourself, then you have to take, cadres from other parties. But the problem is that in other states also, in some other states also, and there's nothing wrong that if, people from other parties want to come and join you. But the thing is that, as I told you, that the idiom of politics, in which the cadres which are moving to your party, if they are trained in that idiom of violence, then you need to do something about that.
Okay.
I think that is a challenge which BJP has to face.
Okay, I'll take that question to the BJP spokesperson as well. But before that, Mr. Banerjee, Anirban Banerjee, I'm coming to you. Do you think that the TMC will be able to battle this out in terms of the public perception? And I want to caveat it by saying that even before the assembly elections, there were much talks about, misgovernance of the Mamata Banerjee government and various other things, but that didn't really find resonance with the voters. She came back with a landslide victory. As far as the present crisis is concerned, is it really finding resonance with the people? And will it be significant in the 2024 battle?
See, the very long and intense political history of West Bengal, BJP at best is a comic relief, and that too for a very short period of time. I mean, in the course of history at the mass level, people often commit some mistake and choose.
But sir, with utmost respect, from 2 Lok Sabha seats to 18, right now the strength is 77 in the assembly. Are you saying it's a comic joke?
That is the exact point I was elaborating on. People at the mass level at times do commit a few mistakes, which they very quickly recover from as well. And the vote percentage of the BJP in 2019 was around 40. In 2021, it was around 38. And look at the last few elections, whether it is the municipal elections or the Lok Sabha or Vidhan Sabha by-polls, it has gone down to single digit in a few cases as well. In 2024, the percentage will be nowhere near the 40 as it was in 2019, I can assure you.
And what is your basis for saying that?
But the basis is, even after so many years in West Bengal, after 2019, there were 18 members. Some defected from Trinamool, their numbers rose. And even after that, 78, 77 seats in 2021, no sign, no iota of any organization in West Bengal. Even in this particular Namanno Chalo, the lion's share of those goons were brought in from other states. And that is the reason they did not know whose leadership to follow, who are the leaders in West Bengal, whose command to follow. They went berserk because they had no one to follow. They don't know who are the leaders in West Bengal.
Okay.
This is the state of the organization of the BJP right
Shatarupa, I want to take both of these points with you. One of the points that Mr. Arun Anand was making, which is that largely your cadre, in the haste for expansion, has been roped in from other political parties. It's but natural that BJP and your present breed of supporters will be from different political parties who might have had different political affiliations earlier. That's not a problem. But a certain level of discipline is important, and perhaps at the organization level, BJP has not been able to do this as efficiently as they would like to. That's what Anirban also said. Respond to both of these points.
So I completely accept what Mr. Anand was saying. Yes, it is possible that many of our cadres, many of our karyakartas, since they have come from different parties following their own separate leaders, it is possible that they still have not been able to infuse the true BJP ideology within them. So there's always done a risk of berserk activities. But what Anirban is saying, just let me finish that part. We have been conducting trainings. We do interact a lot with the karyakartas. Yes, it is an ongoing process, and I think we'll carry that on. But what Mr. Anirban has been saying, and he keeps saying this on different channels, that we provide comic relief. Well, even if I accept the fact that we are providing comic relief, despite what you've already said, that we've gone from 3 to 77 and from 2 to 18, if we are providing comic relief to the West Bengal government, and we are really of no consequence, like what Anirban and Riju have been saying, then why were the West Bengal police instructed to be so ferocious so firm in their in their resolution to stop us. If we are providing comic relief, then we should have been allowed to provide comic relief. After all, we shouldn't be, we are not of consequence in West Bengal, according to these people. Then why were they serious? Why were they so serious that they had to dig up the national highway and put in iron rods to put up a 8 feet railing to stop our rallies? When we were nowhere near Nabarno. We were nowhere near Nabarno.
Riju, let's put it like this, that, when we saw the bricks being hurled or perhaps the protesters going violent, the police had to use some amount of proportionate force to control the crowds. But how does one justify the BJP cadres being stopped at different places, stopped from boarding trains, highways being dug up? Aren't these extrajudicial, undemocratic ways of stopping a protest, a demonstration that a political party wants to do? You may not like it, but the constitution allows it.
We allow all sorts of protests. That is why BJP is on the road today as well. Yesterday, CPIM was also on the road. And the question that why we dig up the highway, where that barricade was placed, that 8-meter barricade, that is just 2 kilometers away from the West Bengal Secretariat, which is the administrative headquarters. If we tomorrow say, as Trinamool Congress, as a national party, that we will gheraw the parliament, will BJP not do the same? Did they not do the same in Singhu and Tikri borders? Did they forget what they did for the farmers? So it's very rich coming from BJP giving all those dialogues. But bottom line, what the people of Bengal and what the people of this country saw was, what is the actual political ideology of BJP is? Violence and destruction. From 2000 to Godhra to Delhi to Muzaffarnagar to Calcutta, all they have done is create a chaos and ruckus. Their only USP is nuisance value.
But Riju, one more point. Please talk about this as well. I'll give you time to respond. Trinamool Congress has fought the violence of the left parties for decades, and that's how you were elected to power. When the party was elected to power for twice, the hopes were that this culture of violence in the state of West Bengal will see a shift. There will be a welcome change. That has not happened. You might blame the BJP, rightly so, they are your political opponents, but the larger responsibility of stopping such kind of violence is with the elected government of the day.
Correct. Now, I'll give you a very pointed answer, and that is shifting a little bit from the debate. You talk about violence in Bengal. Is there any violence in the hills? Is there any violence or Maoist activities in Jhargram or Jungle Mahal area? No. No, madam, there is none. During the CPIM regime, you go anywhere, if you dig ground, you will only find skeletons of political cadres. That is why Mamata Banerjee broke away from Congress, because Congress had an internal tie-up with CPM, which is now out in the open. So now there in Bengal, there is completely peace. But if the BJP cadres, and I won't call them BJP cadres, I don't want to disrespect BJP cadres. They are not cadres. They are hoodlums who are paid money and imported by trains booked by the
Riju, I think we have spent enormous time talking about the violence. I also want to talk about political accountability. Yours as a party and yours as a leader, which has spoken about the importance of decency and uprightness, integrity in Indian politics. And I'm coming to you from that position. I'm not using the moral benchmarks of other political parties. When there are multiple allegations of corruption against your sitting ministers, when there are ministers within your government whose aides were caught with a lot of money, from whom your own party had to distance themselves and remove them from positions, there is a collective responsibility of the state cabinet and the sitting chief minister.
Correct. Absolutely. I completely agree with you. Central investigation, I'm not going to go into the rhetoric by saying the central agencies are targeting us and targeting the opposition, because the country knows that they are doing that at the behest of the BJP. But I will also say this, that the central agencies can go on with the investigation. We will support them. My only request to your channel is fast track these and complete it within 1 year. If you take 10 years for an investigation, then 10 years for judiciary to pronounce the judgment. Let the judiciary pronounce the judgment and throw these culprits who are involved in corruption behind the bars. We have, when Partho Chatterjee's aides, our hoards of cash were recovered, in 6 days' time, Trinamool Congress took the decision of removing from the cabinet as well as from the party. But if you go on a wild goose chase and a witch hunt, that is not proper. That is political vendetta. You have evidence, you prove it in the court of law, and you put them behind the bars and throw the keys.
No.
We will go on.
But Riju, there's a different point I'm asking. If there is a minister within your government who has done something wrong, he's caught with cash, you have no option but to suspend him from the party. It's not that you've done something out of choice. It was a political compulsion. Right. The second question is that what is your party really doing to ensure that the present governance is done in a proper manner and these kind of corruptions are not there in other departments? We don't know of that. Then how can you call it a vendetta?
See, I'll tell you this. You know, if a party is there in power for 12, 13, 14 years, there's a huge incumbency against the party. And the party from time to time, every political party has to reinvent themselves, has to reintrospect themselves, and we are doing it on a daily basis. There have been some charges of corruption against our sitting leaders and ex-ministers that was under the radar of the central agencies. Okay. And after that, we have reinvented our party and we are reintrospecting our party. Okay. And I will tell you this, with all assurity, I will tell you this, we will go to the people of Bengal who has voted to us in power 3 times in a row, and we will say to them, yes, we are not 100% all right. We are not perfect. We have made, some of our people have made mistakes. We are rectifying us, and you trust us because it is us in which Bengal trusts.
I want to ask Anirban and Mr. Arun Anand that is that something that TMC will be able to do, which is to battle this crisis of perception? They do have a year on ground, Mr. Arun Anand, that they do have a year on ground, and that's why perhaps they took action against Partho Chatterjee. I mean, they had no other option. But there are multiple allegations, multiple investigations which are presently underway against various sitting chief ministers, including Abhishek Banerjee. How do you see that entire political perception crisis really playing out for TMC? Mr. Anand.
I don't think they will be able to handle this perception. I think their image has already taken a dent, which cannot be, repaired. The action which they have taken on Partho Chatterjee, so it's basically kind of a damage control. And everybody knows that, at the ground level, what is the situation in terms of corruption. And there has been, the state machinery has appeared to be very biased. There have been observations by the judiciary. And then we have seen the kind of violence which happened after the assembly elections, and there have been, it's a failure on the multiple fronts just by being
but why do you think they
aggressive.
won't be able to? Why do you think they won't be able to battle this perception? Because if the results of the last elections were to go by, that didn't find much resonance with people. It's fair to say that.
Trinamool has got a very strong cadre base in West Bengal, no doubt about it. Yeah. But it's the same ecosystem which they have carried forward, in which you offer the largest and you build up a cadre base. It's a party without an ideology. So a party without an ideology, beyond the point, it's a one-person party, Mamata Banerjee's party. So such parties. So the template is very simple.
Yes, I'll come to you, Riju.
The image takes once the image takes a dent, they cannot, take it off. And until and unless, one last point, until and unless you change the ground level situation in terms of improving the governance, how can you, improve the perception? Because people know what governance is.
Riju, are you a party without ideology because you've not been able to prove any kind of governance? And BJP, I mean, you can criticize them on a lot of things, but they do have a clear ideological mandate that they're pursuing.
Our ideology is Mahamati Manushan. That's what we believe in, and that is why in 2016 there was Naroda scam. You remember Naroda and Sharada scam? You saw a result then. 2021, the biggest political face of the country and of the world's largest political party, Narendra Modi ji did 50 shows. The Home Minister said, "Ab ki baar 200 par." You saw the result, and I'm telling you this again. Yes, we may not be perfect, but we are trying. We work for the people more than anybody else, and there is no alternative to Mamata Banerjee in Bengal. People trust her.
But is it a one-person party? You need a larger organization. That's what we were criticizing the BJP of. But is this a one-person?
I'll tell you this. I'll tell you very straightforward. Our party is very simple. Our chairperson, our Maitri is Mamata Banerjee, and our general, our Senapati is Abhishek Banerjee. And Mamata Banerjee has proven to be enough against the entire armada of BJP behind Mr. Modi. So I think one person is enough for everybody else.
All right, Anirban, just 30 seconds to you. Do you think that the present government will be able to battle this perception crisis?
Even before 2021 elections, after the 2019 result, many political pundits have discounted the effect of Mamata Banerjee and the TMC on ground in West Bengal. And they also forgot something, that the people of Bengal have always resisted the outside invaders from the West. Whether socially or politically, they have never bowed their heads before the outside invaders. And that is the trend that we will see again in 2024, in 2026.
Let's see. All
and
eyes on
upcoming elections as
2024.
well.
Shatarupa, Riju Datta, Anirban Banerjee, Mr. Arunandan. Thank you, all of you, for joining us on this broadcast. Clearly, it's BJP versus TMC once again on the streets of West Bengal. And will Mamata Banerjee government be able to fight this battle of perception in the next few days, especially ahead of the 2024 Lok Sabha elections, the big battle? With that, it's a wrap from my side. Shivani takes it forward.